compared to here, where you would actually see an employer right there, mandatory CBAP, CCBA, right? AAC, you would see that here. I don't get to see a lot of that in the UK. So that's where a lot of people are like, do I really need to get certified? Or certifications important? So I'm hoping you can definitely walk us through that, because you have the CBAP, you have the AAC, and other certifications.
Rather unusually, the UK is a very different market in that there was a dominant certification before IIBA really had a foothold. Now, BCS used to stand for the British Computer Society. They rebranded as the Chartered Institute for IT. Currently, it's probably recognised by more UK employers than CBAP. Of course, with the CBAP or say CCBA, you need to have experience and some, continuing professional or professional development units, and then you sit the, you then sort of sit the multiple choice exam and so on. It's a slightly different format in that there are 4. You need to essentially sit 4 written exams, and once you've sat those 4 written exams, you can then take an oral exam where you go face to face with an oral examiner who will ask you questions across the whole syllabus, and then if you pass that, then you get your international certificate in business analysis, or international diploma in business analysis. There is no prerequisite to have experience, so you can start that journey, even before you've got your first BA role. So if I was thinking about someone who specifically wants employment in the UK, I would say probably starting on the BCS route that's going to open more doors for you in the short term. However, I'm a real believer in the IIBA certs. So it's actually like you can actually, and there's more details on the BCS website. There's an exemption for some of the modules if you've got the CBAP.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So one way you can do it is actually to use your CBAP to get some credit towards the diploma. So they're not mutually exclusive, and I believe they actually sit very nicely together. And if you're looking at a more global audience, then, and particularly if you're looking North America, then CBAP is going to be, CBAP's going to be the one that's going to open doors.
So I really like how you've explained it, because to be honest, I never knew what the process was like. I never knew the prerequisites. But now you've explained it, it's so easy for anyone to understand that I could even have both, right? Now, let's talk about certification in general. Are they really recognized by employers in the UK?
So for some, it will be mandatory, right? It will be a screening criteria.
Yeah.
You see others, it's not mandatory, but it's going to give you the edge. So it's a desirable. So the way that a lot of employers will do things here in the UK is on the specification, it will have like something is either essential, and if you haven't got that, you won't even get past the SIFT, or it's desirable. And if you've got that, you're going to get, you'll get past the SIFT and you'll probably be towards the top of the pile.
To be honest, that is the same way employers see it right here as well. So where they put that as mandatory, right? That's the preference, right? This hiring manager wants someone who understands the BA frameworks, right? Based on the IIBA, the BA book. However, even if it wasn't, mandatory for that role, it just goes to show that this person is serious about this career path, believes in the frameworks, and decided to be certified through this standard, right? For me, right, what I have seen is that a hiring manager would definitely consider someone who has the certification over someone who doesn't, because it just goes a long way to show your commitment to the field. It also shows that you really understand the global, standards.
This is it, and I think that's such a 100%. And I think the other thing certification or any kind of study does is it gives us a common language, right? Because I can say to you, I don't know, concept model, right? And you and I might not have the exactly same idea of what a concept model is, but we've got a shared understanding of what we mean.
True.
And so it's so important from that perspective as well.
So I have a question for you, Adrian. What do you love most about being a business analyst? I know you're so passionate about this career path, so I know this is not such an easy question, but what do you love, most about, being a business analyst?
I think it's arriving in a situation where everything's cloudy and working with people, and after a period of time there's clarity,
right?
but everyone, like, you often, like, you start and everyone's appears to be agreeing, but you're like, I don't think you're not speaking the same language. Like, you're agreeing on the surface, but you've got different mental models on what's happening here. I would sometimes facilitate workshops, in-person workshops, and afterwards people would say, "Wow, I really enjoyed that." Like, it's like that didn't feel like work.
Didn't feel like work, right?
Yeah. And there's that whole, work can be fun, right? Work can be fun. And so I think for me, the particular part of business analysis that brings me the most joy is the strategy analysis, the making sure we're solving the right problem type of thing.
Now, I was going to ask you the next question, which is, what are your favorite techniques? You're such a master at doing mind mapping. So, like, what are your favorite techniques, and how are you so good at doing those beautiful mind maps?
So mind mapping, in terms of note taking, like mind mapping, I when I first saw mind mapping, I was like, meh. I don't like. I was like, yeah, whatever. But then I tried it, and I'm like, this is a game changer, because actually it kind of it mirrors the way my mind works.
Right.
So for me, how do I take do the mind maps? So I found this brilliant tool called Xmind.
Okay.
And Xmind, I have it on my tablet device, and I can literally be in, say, a presentation, and I can be taking a mind map, and once the presenters finish speaking, I can share it straight to LinkedIn or Twitter. It's that good. Other techniques, there are so many. One that I use a lot is the problem statement, because I find, you can have a conversation with people about, what do you think the issue is here? Okay, well, that's different from what this person thinks the issue is here. So, we need to talk about, we need to get on the same page. I know some people consider them a little bit old-fashioned, but I think use cases have a huge place to play in certain situations, including business use cases, higher level than some citizen use cases. Root cause analysis. I do a lot of root cause analysis. Any kind of stakeholder analysis is, we're doing that constantly as BAs, aren't we? So so many. But then, to be honest, I think, ask me that question on any day, I'll give you a different answer.
A different answer, right? Depending on what I'm going through in my life right now, that will determine. That will determine. But one technique that I like to apply in my life is the 5 whys, right? Which is analysis. Because I'm like, why do I need to make this purchase? Why do I need to? I'm asking myself why. I'm like, okay, I don't need this right now. Okay, turn around, leave the store. You don't need this right now. But business analysis is so practical. We do it every day in our lives. We're making changes, right? We have needs. We're working with family members. Our spouses, our children. There are stakeholders in our lives as well. We're planning a vacation. Why do we need to go on this vacation? Where are we going to? What are the things we need to put in place to get there? Flights, tickets, hotel, ground travel, all of that, right? Entertainment, food. We're thinking about all, and we're making plans, right? It's part of our daily lives, right?
Oh, absolutely right. This is what we do: is we, establish needs and work out what's a need and what's a want, and what's a must-have and a should-have, and that's the thing. You can use business analysis techniques in every part of life.
Before we go, what would be your final words, Adrian?
I think anyone who is determined to pursue a business analysis career, don't give up. Right. It is absolutely possible. Don't feel that because you haven't had the title, don't let that be a barrier. Really capitalize on the experience. And the business analysis community, the professional business analysis community, is one of the most welcoming, giving, thoughtful, friendly communities I've ever known. And join your IIBA chapter. Like, if you, or even if you're not ready to join, go and join a virtual event and engage with the community. Go and speak to some people, you know, and make the most of it, because there are so many people who believe in this profession so much. And you know, basically we grow as a community together. So even if you're new, even if you've not got your first role yet, you know, you are still part of this community, and, you know, make the most of it, because it's a great community.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.